Call to order, City Negaunee regular meeting, April 9th, 2026. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Ilman,
Present.
Councilmember Flowey,
Here.
Councilmember Kangas,
Here.
Councilmember Deeds, Councilmember Ganavate, Councilmember Becker,
Yes.
Councilmember Plummer.
Here. All right, approve the agenda, please. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Number 5, public comment. Public comment, please stand up at the podium, 3 minutes is yours. State your name, address, and 3 minutes is yours.
Hi. My name is Tamara Hunter. I go by Tam. I am the new director here at the Senior Center. I do not live in Negaunee. I know you said state my address. I actually live in Marquette, 2050 Tuscaloosa Avenue. But I just wanted to introduce myself to all of you now that I'm here at the Senior Center. So I used to work at Strawberry Heights, where I work with the seniors there, building a community and helping they make sure that they get the services that they needed to stay in their homes. I also used to run a few nonprofits in Marquette County. So I am just excited to bring my experience here to be able to work with the seniors and help provide a comfortable space for them. So thank you. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Blake Becker, 204 Main Street. I'm here tonight to speak out in favor and just support the sidewalk and sign ordinance that's going to be discussed this evening. I think it's very important for downtown to be seen as a welcoming place and show everybody that we are open for business. And also I think that the rules and regulations and the ordinance will also just keep everything streamlined for everybody. Again, in favor and support of the ordinance. Thank you.
Very former Negaunee resident, and I just wanted to say that I'm in complete support of live streaming the city council meetings. I know you're going to be discussing that at the agenda tonight, and just being able to live stream on the YouTube channel. Ishpeming and Marquette do it. It's easy. It's affordable. Everyone I speak to is in favor of it. Watching live is something that a lot of people would like people to do if they can't come in person, if they're out of town. They could do it remotely as long as they have access to YouTube. I did want to mention that March City Council meeting has not been uploaded yet, and I'm inquiring about why that isn't. If it can be uploaded, the February meeting was never recorded, so I'm hoping that as a city council, we can prevent that in the future, so we can continue to record all the city council meetings, but ideally doing it live. I know I would really be supportive, and I know just every person I know is supportive of it. And I think it would be great if the meetings could be live streamed come May city council meeting. So, thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Any further public comment? Seeing none, we're closing public comment. Number 6, public hearings. 6.1, ordinance amendment number 93, sidewalks, second reading.
Enclosed is an amendment to the sidewalk ordinance. We need to hold a public hearing, adopt the second reading, and ordinance amendment to the sidewalk ordinance.
Open the public hearing. Open the public hearing.
Yes.
Okay, well, we will open the public hearing. Anybody speak on 6.1, amendment 93 sidewalks?
If you want me to say a few more words, I'm more than happy.
If you like to, let's see it.
Again, Blake Becker, 204 Main Street. So I guess I'm here representing the majority of the business owners that brought this amendment forward and support, this activity. Again, Negaunee's done a lot to, attract people from out of the area, but also has done a great job of, with the streetscape and everything, of just making the downtown beautiful. The businesses, we have a lot of businesses down there that are open. I think that the majority of the buildings are occupied. Again, I think, people having the ability to kind of showcase what they do will attract people, because when you're walking by, sometimes, to the average consumer, they may not know what's going on inside a business, so being able to put a sign out or, wares out, whether it be decorations for Fall Fest, Christmas, different holidays, I think it just, generally is just going to make a more enjoyable, more welcoming downtown, and that's basically what I wanted to say about that, but appreciate you guys' time and, taking this into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further public comment, Unit 93? Motion to close the public hearing.
Jill Howard, 207 West Park Street, Valley, Michigan. If I'm correct, if we're speaking about downtown public sidewalks, even though the public sidewalk is in front of your business, you have to keep the sidewalks open, even residentially, for public use. And especially like in a downtown area where you're going in between parked cars or whatever, I think it's a real safety issue and an annoyance for people to get off a public sidewalk to step into the streets. Just my personal opinion. Thank you.
Any further comment?
I'll make one more.
We can do it on the next one.
Okay.
Alright, closing out public hearing. Next, we need a motion, entertain a motion to adopt second reading of ordinance amendment number 93 sidewalk ordinance.
I'll make the motion that we, adopt the amendments to, sidewalk ordinance, adopt the second reading of the ordinance amendments.
Alright, any further discussion, John?
This, change originated in the DDA and, came via petition with, the broad support of, a large number of, the downtown businesses. And, I think it goes a long way to address, the concerns of businesses, but also in terms of keeping clear space, for people to, use the sidewalk and navigate their way through downtown. So this is a good move, and it kind of codifies, what's been happening downtown anyways.
David, any further?
Well, just kind of tag along with John mentioned, but I mean, a little bit more. I talked to, various business owners in downtown and, about the ordinance, and a lot of them are in favor of it, since it's gonna be benefiting their business. However, the way it's written, and it seems to me fair, and I hear a comment from public that maybe it could get crowded, I don't know. But the way, what I read, and what I've learned about it is it's a fair understanding, it's a fair ordinance, and it brings more eyeballs downtown to help us out. I'm in support of it.
Any further council comment? Seeing none, alright, with that, we will take the roll call vote now.
Councilmember Flowey,
Yes.
Councilmember Kangas,
Yes.
Councilmember Deeds. Yes. Councilmember Ganavate,
Yes.
Councilmember Becker,
Yes.
Councilmember Plummer,
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on, 6.2, ordinance amendment number 156.179, signs, second reading, public hearing. I will now open the public hearing. You'd like to speak on that?
Again, Blake Becker, 204 Main Street. I've read through the drafts of both ordinances, and, having safe and clear passage on the sidewalk is, I think, vitally important. You got people of all walks of life and abilities using that sidewalk. I see them on a daily basis, so people walking dogs, strollers, mobility devices. It's my understanding that there needs to be at least 5 feet of clear space for people to navigate the sidewalk, so when the sidewalks were designed, they were designed, I think, with the intention of having at least that 5-foot clear span plus a little bit extra for the things that the business owners are trying to do, so. Again, just kind of speaking on behalf of, I think it is vitally important that, downtown is seen as a welcoming environment and is attracting people, to these businesses. The downtown business district is the economic hub for Negaunee, so I think without a downtown business district, we really don't have a city of Negaunee. But again, being able to have that clear space for mobility is vitally important. It's, safe passage. Thank you very much.
Any further comment? Seeing none, closing the public hearing. With that, we will entertain a motion for 6.2 ordinance amendment number 1561779, signed second reading.
I'll make the motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance amendment, 156.179, sign ordinance.
I'll second that. John, anything further?
No, I mean, this just aligns with the sidewalk ordinance that we just passed, so there's no point in passing one without the other, just makes them, jive, so, and again, just brings into alignment, the city ordinance with the reality on the ground of the way things are operating.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, anything further?
Nothing to that, no.
Any further council comment? Seeing none, alright, with that, we will do another roll call here.
Councilmember Kangas,
Yes.
Councilmember Dietz,
Yes.
Councilmember Ganavate,
Yes.
Councilmember Becker,
Yes?
Councilmember Plummer,
Yes.
Councilmember Flowey,
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Alright, moving on, number 7, new business. 7.1, live streaming meeting discussion. There is no background, Nate, would you like to lead this one?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm not going to lead the conversation. This has been put on the request by Mr. Plummer, so if you grant him the the latitude to discuss the topic at your leisure for discussion purposes only, we will be looking for some kind of direction potentially from the city staff. So, very good.
Alright, with that being said, Mr. Plummer, the floor is yours to the council and share your thoughts with us.
Thank you. I've been approached over the last few months multiple times, people asking if we could go back to something like we'd had before, the ability to watch live meetings, which will all still gonna be banked and recorded, like ideally they would be, just with a not live meeting. And I think that technology should be there to do it affordably, I would be hoping, but I think it would bring in a lot more community participation, and because not everyone can always come to a meeting, so and also some people might want to just watch a segment from the meeting and see the agenda, and it gives them the opportunity to tune in, and sometimes it'll be a background for them, so I think it's important to have that live stream feature, especially with our technology these days. I'm hoping it'll be pretty easy to do, so.
Very good, thank you. With that being said, I think we, as a council, can, direct our questions to Jeff, or open discussion of questions we may have dealing with the live stream of the meetings, and maybe come to a decision as to how to move forward, feasibly allowing the city manager and the city attorney to look at fiscal effects or possibilities of how this is done. So, council, what questions do we have?
Yeah, Councilman Plummer, I guess, this is kind of, technology to me, so technology is like a third language. So I guess I'm asking third language questions. When it comes to recording the meeting, who would own the content of the meeting? And would that, would someone, a third or fourth party have access to possibly, alter the information that was held during the meeting, or how would that go about?
I'm not an expert either, Dan, it's a third language for me too, so, but I would assume, like, let's say if it was YouTube Live, I would just assume that the city, because we already have a channel, a YouTube channel, correct? That's where we're putting already our videos, so it probably would have the same rules, I guess it's applying to that, it's basically a live stream of something that then gets archived. But I think our attorney would know probably better to be able to figure that out better than I would, or at least somebody who understands that technology better than you or I do, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I can give a little insight on that. So typically, Mr. Kangas, or Councilmember Kangas, when we sign up for any type of platform or use or app, the terms and conditions, those are those things that we skip by because we don't want to read them in the United States, and we don't read them at all, we just do whatever we want and then move on to the next thing. My understanding is that when using those platforms, they could become the property of them on that platform. We originate here, so there could probably, obviously, we can pull anything off we want, we would be recording and keeping them in-house as well. If we want to switch to a different platform potentially, we don't have the capabilities of creating our own platform and throwing it out there like we have before when we were using the charter PEG channel, which has been great. So there would be some nuances with that. Right now, Mr. Plummer is right, we are using YouTube right now. However, the other thing you have to keep in mind, there are community standards with a lot of these platform systems. So they, if they want, could censor things if they wanted to potentially, or cut things out if they wanted to because someone flags it or reports it or something like that. So those are some of the things that I've noticed, not with like council stuff, but just from Facebook or YouTube. If people get reported, they might get suspended, their whole page might get suspended, they might get a warning or 2 or 3 or something like that. It just depends on the terms and conditions.
Yeah, that I can, a little bit on the end there. Like council meetings, basically what these council meetings are is they're a business meeting for the city of Negaunee. It's gonna pay bills, that type of stuff, it's a business meeting. And sometimes, and I know myself, when I first began council, it's like, geez, it's not like it's an open forum. We have, Robert's Rules of Order in that for meetings that you gotta go by. So another thing that kind of just hit me was, like I know I can screen that when they do their streamings and that. Does the council would like the mayor, because like say you're doing public comment, okay, you got 3 minutes. Okay, someone, Mary Smith starts talking for 3 minutes and they go over 3 minutes. Would the mayor have the ability to stop the recording of that person speaking at 3 minutes? And if that would be done, could that be a confusion that, well, geez, the city's cutting off people's right to free speech type of thing? It's, okay, I might be splitting hairs here possibly, which I might be, but it's just kind of that's something that's floating around in my 1980s mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just from what I understand, we do live stream through YouTube with our church, for our church services. And so the terms and conditions are the same for live videos as they would be for videos that you upload. The only difference, I think, with live is, like, for our live, we allow commenting, for people to say hi or whatever. But I think the commenting can be turned off for that. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same as, with a video that's uploaded. Yeah, they can, with a live, the same as a uploaded video, they can, flag it as against community standards. But that's not, to my knowledge, that's never happened with our council videos, so, I think that it would be pretty straightforward, like, pretty much the same thing, except for it's live and happening, you know, as, live, it's happening live, so, yeah, I've looked into it, it's pretty affordable, you know, I know a lot of kids, like, you know, my kids' friends all have YouTube channels and they do lives, and, you know, it's, you know, from my understanding, it's not really expensive or anything like that, I think you just have to have like a annual subscription, so. I think that YouTube Live would be, you know, because it's so popular and very widespread and a lot of people from different generations use YouTube, I think that it would be, probably the best option.
Thank you.
John, yes, please.
Yeah, Councilman Plummer, you indicated one of the reasons that you've heard to do this is to increase participation, or you would hope that it would increase participation. Does that mean that you foresee the public being able to comment through the live stream?
You know, I don't even know how that would work with a channel like YouTube. I don't know if that technology, that would probably way complicate the technology.
Well, whatever the technology is,
Yeah.
if it's Facebook or if it's
Um,
YouTube, do you envision the public
I don't.
being able to comment without being in this room?
Yeah, fair enough. You know, I honestly hadn't thought past just having a live stream of, like we had when it was our city, you know, was it Charter doing that again? So very similar to that. I don't know enough about the technology, how that, we would do that, so I would just be pretty much ignorant of how that would happen on YouTube live. I don't, I guess in the discussion, that's probably a valid thing to bring up, if that's, I don't know, and I'd be happy to look into talk to other municipalities too, like I know Eastburning, I don't believe they have that, capability, as far as I know.
You just have comments turned off.
Yeah, well, but we're talking about like public comments where somebody can make a comment without being physically in the council chamber, so correct, is that what you're asking?
Correct, yeah, I mean, is that something you envision, or you think is, cause I don't see how, if we're just, broadcasting it in real time, that to me doesn't necessarily increase participation, right? People are just watching it in real time versus watching it a day or two later.
They're at least
Right, so-
participating in one side of it, and again, we have a mechanism like to send letters in and things like that for public comment that you would necessarily have to.
Sure. But I mean, they can do all that now,
Yeah.
right? And so, and the PEG channel, nobody was standing up and talking and, you know, we were hearing those
Right.
comments at home.
Yeah, I
from
guess
the
I
phone.
did not envision that aspect of it, but I felt the participation in the sense, knowing what's going on in the city, making it easier for people to be informed citizens. I think that in and of itself will increase participation on some
No,
level.
I don't wanna take away from you by any means, Jeff.
No.
But maybe instead of using the word participation, maybe you're more reaching towards accessibility.
Well, that would be,
Where-
I think
where more time
participation would be
is-
fair too, that I
Right,
think that's
yeah.
a component, I think there's a lot of components of
Um,
having access to watch a meeting.
I think a lot of it would be just like us as a council, right? If I'm out of town or you're out of town, we don't have the ability to make a vote while we're, what do you call it? Yeah,
Remote.
remote, if you will, sure. So I think that'd be something that our city attorney would have to look into to see if public comment via video would be even feasible or lawful, for that matter. My biggest, thing is probably thinking about, fiscal effects, right? What does this cost? Will it be fiscally responsible for us to do it? And then what avenue, via YouTube, I know Facebook has a live, ability, so, that as well. But I personally, don't necessarily see pros or cons, I see a opportunity, right? There's opportunity for us to broadcast, and wouldn't it be nice for us to have more accessibility? I mean, not that we're not accessible as it is, but more accessibility to have the community, right? The constituents that we represent, be able to see us in real time, making decisions on behalf of them, right? And that's kind of where my idea is, but I think where we are tonight is to find a way, do we want to have Nate and our city manager work together to see what the fiscal responsibilities are, what platforms are available for this, what platforms would be, conducive to what we have, as well as small things that maybe we don't think of because we don't live stream, but is lighting up proper, we're sitting in a senior center under fluorescent lights is that a big deal? I don't know, right? But, I think there's a few things that we can think about and move on, with a process of giving Nate and the city manager the ability to go and do that due diligence and research and figure out, where we are in Robert's Rules of Order and lawfully and fiscally and the responsibilities that we have to broadcast to the public, but also allow accessibility for the public to see what we're doing too. So, hopefully that wasn't too long-winded, but do you have any other comments? Kevin?
I'd be interested in finding out more if there's anything problematic from a legal standpoint, in terms of the different platforms. And then maybe a recommendation on the public comment issue, or if it's problematic to have a forum like that and have commenting turned off. It seems like it wouldn't be fair, compared to the time limit that we have here, to have a comment section that people could just go on and on.
Right. Yeah, we don't have, again, we don't have the lawful knowledge. We don't have the ability to sit here and say, can we turn that on? But our city attorney can look into that and say, is that legally what we can do or not do? Do we have to provide that? And go from there, so, yeah, it's a great idea. Jason, anything? No? Dave, one more?
Yeah, one more. I'll be longer than that. No, this statement here isn't a yes for, live streaming, it isn't a no for live streaming. But ever since I've been on council, I've always said, I've mentioned that I like to get the correct information from right sources. So, if we get the right information from right sources on this topic, I would say, probably wouldn't hurt us to do that. Because I want the public to be informed with the right information, not the wrong information.
Very good, very good. You have anything further, Mr. Seaman?
The only other thing, just in listening to the conversation, accessibility was brought up, so, there will be some factors involved with ADA compliance that we're gonna have to really look into as well. It's a little bit different than, what, Councilwoman over here was speaking about at church, cause it's a private organization, can do things differently, can do things the way we want. I don't think it's anything we can't overcome, but it's something we have to look into. So whether it's closed captioning, which is already usually available to YouTube, the ability to be able to hear things properly. Sometimes I think that camera might be not the best sound, maybe, I don't know, I don't watch them, so, and also being able to see people, hear people when they're up there, or if there were comments allowed to the platform, that those too would be able to be heard. And there'll be a couple other little things probably with ADA compliance as well, so I think that's another factor that we need to look into since the word accessibility is brought up.
Tracy, yes, please.
I have actually watched the videos, you can't really hear council that well at all.
Okay.
You pick up a lot of chatter from the audience that are like by the door, like we're really packed.
Yeah.
You can hear them mumbling, shuffling their throats. So for accessibility, you're gonna need microphones all by us. So it's gonna add some more financial. But it is a little hard to hear from the videos unless we speak up.
Yeah, and just looking at, Ishpeming, for example, our closest neighbor that does this, it seems like they all have microphones. They've got some kind of special camera beyond what we have now, so there'll be some, cost in all of that. And I believe they also have a staff person that's, sort of dedicated to that, so that may be the most significant cost that we're not even, factoring in. But, I think it would be, prudent to get more information.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to make a motion to allow you?
Yeah, I think if you guys want us to explore, there's lots and lots of good questions that I never followed up on.
Yeah,
I don't know if we need a motion.
You can address that for us.
Certainly bring you back information.
With that being said, as you know, again, I know we had public comment about wanting something set in stone by May. Again, we are, as small as we are, we're still government, and nothing happens overnight in government, right? But I think moving forward is our best option here. So with that, I will entertain a motion to allow our city manager and city attorney to work hand in hand to find legalities, accessibility, and platforms to work with to possibly make this go forward. So,
I'll make that motion.
all right.
I'll second it.
There you go. Is that a good motion for you? Yeah. Any further discussion? Tracy?
There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and our city attorney and city manager have a lot of work ahead.
Excellent. Very good. Kevin? Nothing further? Council?
I appreciate this being put on the agenda, but fully entrust you guys to figure it out. In some fashion, or at least get back with information.
Absolutely.
Will help us, we really appreciate it.
Very good. Nice work, Jeff. Thank you. All right, with that said, we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right. Okay. Jeez. Who's calling me back now, so. He's not in.
Mark, we're at the city council meeting, we're gonna, start the next session with you involved. We have our mayor that you can address, and so we'll just have you explain, what the process is gonna be here for this, manager evaluation proposal, okay? Put you on speaker here.
Hello?
Mark, right?
Yeah, that's Mark. Yep.
Hello, Mark. We're gonna do some legal things here real quick, and then I'll get you on the phone here.
Actually, can I make a suggestion? Can I have you call me back on another number?
Yeah, give me the number, please.
Yeah, it's 715-828-6828.
All right, very good, we'll call you back.
All right, thanks.
All right, with that being said, let's move on. 7.2, Harding Group Agreement, City Manager Evaluation, as Nate's calling him, and we'll read it back to you, please.
By contract, the city manager's review will take place this year. Harding Group was named specifically to conduct this task. An agreement proposal has been received for these services. Mr. Harding will be available via phone for this initial phase to discuss the process and answer any questions council may have. Recommendation to enter into an agreement with the Harding Group in the amount of $1,500 to conduct the city manager review to present to council per contract.
All right, you're on now.
All right, Mark, legalities have been met, so the floor is yours.
Before, yeah, I understand each of you, I was in looking at your agenda, and you each had in your agenda a packet of for a proposal from us. This, I believe, it might be the fourth time, Nate, that we've done this, third or fourth. The process is, actually the scope is employees. And the last couple, we've done what I would call an abbreviated evaluation, where we developed a set of questions that focused on critical objectives that the council might want to have Nate working on. Nate, I don't know if they have a copy of the last one that was done.
No, we do not. No.
There were 4 or 5 primary things that we had feedback on. We asked each member to rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. And actually, I think that we had what the score was last time. In this case, I think we're going to end up having 3 different scores, historical scores, so you can compare over time. And we were looking at economic development, and I believe it was 3 other categories. And then the last time we did this, you were coming out of COVID, and we asked people for feedback on COVID. And then we had a list of open-ended questions looking at more of what I would call behavioral, how Nate goes about doing things. So we haven't finalized that list of questions at this point, but we would use at a minimum the 4, and then add to that. I think I said up to a certain number of questions. I think I indicated as many as a dozen in total, or something like that. And it would be done online. So any info provided would be confidential. And Nate and I, when we talked about this, we talked about possibly coming back to the council in either June or July at your regular meeting. And July is going to be a better date for me. I think you've got the rest of the info in front of you, unless you want to see some of the historical data that we've done over previously. And I'd be happy to answer the questions anybody has.
We'll go with questions first. Mark, council members, do you have any questions for Mark about the city manager evaluation? John, please.
Yeah, Mark, you touched on economic development and COVID, and obviously COVID's not so relevant, this go around. What, can you tell me what those other 3 areas are that were part of the focus?
I don't have that right in front of me, but hang on 1 second. Actually, Nate, I think I sent it to you, so I'm gonna go to my sent file. And I can give them to you probably shortly here.
Okay.
As my wonderful internet allows me.
Sure. And Mark, while you're looking, maybe a related follow-up would be sort of, how are those areas of interest being set? Set. Who's determining those areas that are being focused on in the review?
Actually, if my memory is correct, it was a combination of Nate and the council.
Okay, so in this go-round, will we have the opportunity to weigh in on those, areas, because this is a different body, okay? But I'm just, if the timeline is July, I was curious.
Here are the categories.
Awesome.
Marketing and promotion, downtown development,
Mm-hmm,
infrastructure investment, and fiscal management were the categories.
awesome, thank you.
And then pandemic response was the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be actually the fourth time we did this, because I have data on those going back as far as 2019. So we got 2019, 2021, and 2022 was the last time we did it.
And then, you were saying July is the timeline for you to come to present results to us?
Yes, yeah, as I was looking at your schedule, the week of the 13th of July, you have a council meeting, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's Thursday night, right?
Right.
Yeah. I have a conflict in June. And my preference would be July. And if something should come up, Nate, John Creasick would be available to step in my behalf, so.
All right, go ahead.
I read through it, and, in the scope, it says that you're gathering information from 3 sources: council members, which, obviously all of us, community partners, and a select group of employees. And I'm wondering, is it like a random selection of employees, or who selects the employees?
Well, what Nate and I talked about earlier was primarily looking at your department heads.
Okay.
It's okay.
Now, we've had a
Now,
changeover in some of our department heads, so,
and again, we would do this online so that everything's confidential. The data that I'll roll up, that we will roll up to the council, is not gonna show, it'll show data by group. It's not gonna show, who said what.
right.
Okay?
Council, any further questions? No, seeing none? Dave, go ahead.
When the evaluations that I remember doing Nate's, in current contract, it was myself and, former Councilman Smith were in negotiations for the contract and made sure that this was put in there. So, I'm pleased with how the Harding Group has did their evaluations. I think it was fair. We let a lot of people answer questions, they stay under and up, not knowing what specific person said what, so people had the opportunity to speak freely. So I think I feel confident in the Harding Group. I think they did a good job.
So, one of the questions was, I have a list of in addition to these categories, I'll send you a list of questions that between Nate and, I don't know if it's the mayor or whether you want the whole council to come to agreement on the questions. But I can get those questions out here in the next, probably early next week. And then it's a matter of you getting back to me with, here are the categories, there may be a new one, other than pandemic response that you might wanna add, but you're not gonna have the historical data that you would, given, the questions or the categories that we used previously. So, but there'll be some open-ended questions that are targeted more at how Nate goes about doing things, not just what specific categories, you've got him focused on, okay?
Very good. And then I guess this is more a question for you, Nate. He comes back to us with these questions via Nate, correct? Nate and Ann will receive the questions, they'll send out to us, and we meet again this month. With a special meeting to discuss that.
It's up to you guys, if you'd like to meet again to finalize those questions, we typically haven't done that in the past. And these are very standardized questions across the board for all city managers in the village. So it's your pleasure, if you wanna have a meeting and you wanna pick out all whatever questions and categories, or you can do that at your own pleasure, or whatever.
You know what, I would, if I can jump in here,
Yes, sir.
Previously, Nate, I believe it was you and I and the mayor agreed on a set of questions. And, if the mayor wants to, once the three of us agree on what the questions are, if you wanna send them out and say, here's what we've agreed on, I don't know that you need a special meeting if, as much as giving the group the opportunity to give some feedback if there's a question that's not there, or, maybe, you'd like to see worded differently, so.
Okay, very good.
Okay. That'd be my suggestion.
If we,
Once we get that set of questions together,
if we wanna give feedback, we'd have to do it in a meeting.
we can work backwards, as far as timing. What we will need is email addresses to go out to the individuals, and then some communication, probably from the mayor, suggesting, that would, inform people what's going on and why we're looking for feedback. Okay.
Hold on one second, John, maybe a couple more questions. Did you?
Yeah, I was just, like, if you guys come up with the questions and then send them to us to give feedback, we can't give feedback through, like, we would have to have an open meeting in order to give our feedback, correct? So we would have to have a special meeting, in essence, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, or we could do that in May, right? I mean, if there's ample time, if they send us the questions here, he's indicating in the next week or so, we could have a discussion about the questions in May at our regular meeting.
Okay.
The survey could be conducted in June, I'm assuming 30 days is gonna be enough time for people to respond, and then we can have results in July. Is that a reasonable timeline, Mark?
It's reasonable, yes, I think we can, I might, if your May meeting is the second week in May,
It's the 14th.
I may, some stuff, I have a trip planned, starting the day after the, 4th of July, that's gonna run a week, and what I'd like to do is have everything done, before we leave, so I could get that information out to you, ahead of time, so that, we can have a meaningful discussion on the, what is it, the, 16th?
13th of July.
13th of July.
No, it's the
We'll get you the dates.
16th.
We'll get you the dates.
16th.
The 16th.
Is the 16th a Thursday?
Yeah, let me just double check.
Check it out now.
Yeah, I think the 16th is a Thursday.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's your, as I understand it, is that your regular meeting?
We push it back a week because of holiday.
We push it back because there's a special holiday in town.
Yeah.
I know.
Now it's been better. All right,
Very good. Any further questions, council? All right, Mark, I think we will have our discussion and,
Can we make a motion to hire him so you can start doing it?
Yeah.
while he's on the phone.
No, let's do it.
Okay, well, let's hang up on Mike and then.
All right, we'll get back to you. I'll let you know if he's made it to the credit. Take care.
Yeah, no problem.
all right, I'll make a motion that we enter into this agreement with the Harding Group to conduct the, city manager's evaluation.
I'll second.
Okay, John, and, Kevin. Any further discussion, Joe?
No, that's what I wanna do is hammer out this timeline and make sure that it's gonna work for us and we have sufficient time to see the questions, vet the questions, get get people to, respond, all of that, so I think that seems like it should work, just well.
Kevin? Nothing else. Nothing further. Council comment? Nothing further? All right, with that, we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Thank you. 7.3, Community Heart and Soul Service Agreement with Lake Superior Community Partnership.
In May 2025, the council approved to allow the manager to develop a service agreement with Community Heart and Soul for a community project. Recommendation has been received from the Community Heart and Soul Committee to hire the Lake Superior Community Partnership to be the project coordinator for the CHS process. It has been advised by CHS to have such a position filled in order for the program to function properly. Recommendation to enter into an agreement with LSCP in the amount of $10,000 to provide services to the CHS as project coordinator. This will be paid from the proceeds of a grant that the city received from the MEDC in the amount of $15,000.
With that, I will entertain a motion, to enter into the, agreement with LSCP in the amount of $10,000.
I'll make a motion to enter into agreement with LSCP in the amount of $10,000 to provide services to the Community Health and Soul Committee as project coordinator, to be paid from the proceeds of the grant, the MEDC grant in the amount of $15,000.
Support.
Any others? All right, any further discussion, Amanda?
No, I'm really, looking forward to seeing what Community Heart and Soul does for us.
Tracy?
Nothing further.
Council? John?
Do we know who we'll be working with out of LSCP yet? I know there's some turnover happening there.
There is some turnover, but the beauty of working with LSCP, excuse me, is we'll have access to the entire staff. Our point person is gonna be, Diana Solberg, is the girl last name?
Diana Sunberg?
Sunberg, she's working from Weston Hub, I'm sure you've met her before.
Any further questions? Seeing none, with that, we will take a vote. All in favor of service agreement with LSCP and Community Heart and Soul, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Again. 7.4, closed session per SEC 15.268 to consider the purchase of real property. Can I entertain a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make a motion, closed session.
Support. John will support. All in favor?
Roll call
We'll do a
on
roll
that.
call vote
Yeah.
on that.
Councilmember Deeds,
Yes.
Councilmember Ganavate,
Yes.
Councilmember Becker,
Yes.
Councilmember Plummer,
Yes.
Councilmember Chloe,
Yes.
Councilmember Kangas,
Yes.
Mayor Illman.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
We're in closed session.